19 expansion packs, 12 game packs, 20 stuff packs, and 46 skits as of writing, totaling in 97 DLCs and about 1,429 euros, or around 1,672 US dollars. That's insane, especially compared to the amount of content in each pack and all the bugs they come with, some of which are still not fixed to this day, and somehow people still want more. I just don't understand what kind of special powder EA sprinkled onto these packs. No, EA isn't scamming you in the traditional way people think of a scam, but once you look at it from an outside perspective, people don't think zebras when they hear hoofbeats, do they? But if getting a buggy pack that has barely any meaningful or even just good content and it feels like a scam, or at the very least a disappointment, why do so many people keep buying them? And before you go to the comments to call me a hater, I played The Sims 4 a lot. This was my first Sims game. Technically the first game I played was the second one via my older cousin, but the first one was the one that introduced me to the franchise, so this game is pretty special to me and I want to see it be good and without any bugs. I know dreams really don't come true. The Sims 4 has a huge problem. There are way too many packs with not enough content in them. The more the merrier does not apply to pay-to-play content. My problem isn't necessarily the kits. To me, they are more like skins in a shooter game, completely optional and purely cosmetic. But I also understand the argument that they're just cash grabs since most players could get very similar items for free from CC creators. So sorry to console players. But if it's so unnecessary, why do players buy them? Well, for one, they could just genuinely like the contents of the pack, which is fine, it's your money. But the other reason is a little less fun that most players won't even admit they have. Buggy packs, not enough or disappointing content, controversies, and unnecessary packs. Sounds like a nightmare, but to some players, FOMO is an even bigger boogeyman. FOMO is short for fear of missing out. It's pretty self-explanatory and it's a pretty common human experience. But when it drives you into credit card debt because you can't just own 96 pack, you need the 97th, there's a serious problem that needs considering. And I think I figured out the EA formula. Deprive players from content in the base game, have a lot of creators advertise for you, break content into multiple packs, aka more content deprivation, make sure all packs are just a little short of satisfactory, all to leave people craving more, and boom, instant money machine. Oh, and put all the leftovers into another pack. How could I forget? Also, side note, I'm not attacking anyone with the point about content creators. My point is that EA knows what kind of advertisement works, and whether you've binged all of Nom Malcolm's videos and now you're convinced every one of those creators sold their soul for free packs or not, doesn't matter. This sort of advertisement works because of how connected we feel to these influencers. Parasocial much? All these YouTubers and TikTokers have all the packs. Even regular people sometimes brag about their collections, which either triggers FOMO in some people or a need to feel superior in a strange sort of way. Kinda like a, look, I can afford all of these packs sort of way. But the psychology behind all of that goes way further than what my paycheck of exactly $0 allows me to do, so this is why influencers work. All those cozy YouTubers and TikTokers showing the pack they got for free so they could promote it works. If I have that pack, maybe my game will be better. And we wouldn't think this way if the game was already enough. Where's the open world? What about cars? Skateboards when? I've been begging for bans for ages. Why do we have color wheels for dogs but not hair, furniture, or clothes? It's ridiculous. People ask for more and more every day because we know what previous games had. As technology evolves and the game gets more and more successful, making the company more and more money, it's not unreasonable for players to expect more and better. It's not unreasonable to think that they can hire enough people, they can afford to spend more time on packs. They have the technology to make it better, but they didn't. And at the same time, they somehow managed to suck all the soul out of the game. That sense of emptiness leads players to do anything to fill that void with mods their computers can't handle and packs they can't afford. So when they see all these influencers praising the new pack, they fall right back into FOMO in an attempt to chase dopamine, only to end up with a disappointing buggy mess. It has gotten to the point where simmers are pretty much becoming the #1 sea travelers, if you know what I mean. If I had a nickel for every comment I've seen online in the past few years discussing how to get the packs for free, I'd be able to retire half my family. But as much as I like to only blame EA, it's our fault too. Well, not mine. I've escaped this toxic positivity mentality and EA worship a while ago. And deep down, every player knows what's going on, but not everyone can accept it. Everything is fine. The game is fine. Bugs happen all the time. Excuses, excuses, excuses. The first step to solving every problem is to identify that there is a problem. Stop making excuses. You know better. Look, I like the game too. I enjoy playing even beyond create a sim and build and buy, but you gotta admit that there are issues. Pointing them out doesn't mean you're a hater or a fake fan. It means you're not blind. But of course, some people will disagree because you're just a hater. It's a statement that's all over social media and all kinds of contexts. In this, all you have to do is look up YouTubers like Not Malcolm or Sachan Sims, and you'll see plenty of people use that line to dismiss their criticisms and opinions. But just because these people don't like what they have to say or how they say it, it doesn't mean that they're haters or that they're wrong. This, I feel like, especially doesn't apply to Sach. No shade to Malcolm, but I can definitely see where his delivery could be misunderstood. I personally see it as entertaining, but if someone isn't as open to different opinions, it will backfire. But Seth reviews Pack just like all your favorite simmers, except he points out the bad too, which I honestly find really refreshing, especially in a community where players who go beyond the setup gameplay and actually press play are getting rarer. EA gets away with so many bugs because less and less people play live mode, and while my current family tree argues that it's not impossible to stick to the game, I can totally see why some players prefer to either just make sims or just build. Just because I did it doesn't mean it wasn't difficult at times. Seth just tells it how it is, and by getting angry, the community harms itself more than anything else. It's good to hear different opinions before you impulsively buy a pack, play for a week, and then abandon the game again. Well, if you just add this, maybe just one more pack, I just want this small thing. No! EA, we want the Generations pack for The Sims. Sure, here's Parenting Simulator 2 Blowout Edition, Teens, a handful of stuff packs and kits, also nifty knitting kinda, since elders don't get much in the game anyways. All of this just goes back to my point of them breaking up packs into multiple. Another example are occults. We all know how disappointing mermaids were when they came out, so I don't think I need to say much more on that. Adding bands to the game is one of the requests I've come across a lot. It could have been included in the base game as another branch for the entertainer career. City living because of singing, get together as a club, get famous for obvious reasons, and high school years as an after school activity. Begging for content has gone so far. I've seen people ask for a car pack instead of wanting it to be base game. You know the BS too, stop lying to yourself. Yeah, the game sucks. Anyways, congratulations, you've accepted that there are problems both with the game and the community. Cookies are on the right and the drinks are in the cooler. No, but seriously, acknowledging the issue doesn't mean you'll never play again. I know the game has many issues, but I'm too attached to my main save, I can't stop. So, how do we solve this issue? How would I know? I just wanted to complain. So while you can't solve the issue on a community basis, you can try to solve it on a personal level. Maybe think more about what packs you want to buy, hear out other people's opinions, really think about the choices you make and the style of gameplay that you follow. Or just complain like I do.